Hey, it's Brian Tarian here from the Disability Digest. Um, Welcome to Friday YouTube Live. In this event, I'm going to cover any questions that you might have about qualifying for disability, um, what to say to get approved, how to speed up the approval process, how to maximize your benefits, how to survive, anything like that. So if you have questions as you join us, type them in. Before we get going, I have a few general questions I want to cover and some housekeeping items. Um, first of all, one of the things that I want to express and make everybody aware of out there is the cost of poor communication. We've had members report to us that they've had their Social Security disability benefits either denied or stopped simply because of communication. Voicemail full, call blocking, change of address, not paying attention to their mail. Their wife gets their mail, doesn't give it to them. So just make sure that if you're going through the disability approval process, or even if you're approved, that you're paying attention to the communication that comes to you from Social Security, and that you allow the communication from Social Security to get to you. That's key. Many people work very hard to get this, and one simple issue can cause a problem. This is one situation that happened last week. Individual was sent the forms to fill out about going through the approval process about activities of daily living and work history, and didn't receive them. And they tried to contact him to get the forms. And so, as a result, as things roll forward, those forms weren't turned back in, and that loop wasn't closed. And they made a decision based on the evidence in the case, and that's just one reason. That's all they need to deny the claim. So, would it have been approved at initial? I don't know. Um, we have a question that was interesting here on our YouTube channel. This is from Gary. It says, I called SSA to check on the status of my claim. My initial exam was 5 to 6 weeks ago, and the representative told me that my claim is favorable as of December 2nd. But my claim was sent for another review. So his question is, if it's favorable, who's reviewing it now? I'm not exactly sure, but what I do know is there is a quality control process where some cases are pulled from the file of approvals and they're reviewed again. That's the only thing that I can think of. But the fact that it's favorable and the Social Security employee representative was bold enough to tell you this over the phone, I would say that that is good news, right? Um, Other questions that we have had this week is about continuing disability reviews. What's my probability of being reviewed? And what can I do to protect myself from a review, etc.? So I've covered this several times, but I'm going to give you the condensed version. Um, Continuing disability reviews as a result of the recent Biden budget that was approved. There's 1.7% of that, 1.7, I think it's $1.7 billion is allocated towards the continuing disability reviews, the integrity program. So what that means is that the integrity program is the disability reviews. They're reviewing about 20% annually of disability recipients now. So even if you think your condition is super severe, which most people are that are on disability benefits, or that you're approaching full retirement age where you won't be reviewed anymore, it's still possible, especially if you're all the way up into your early 60s, that you will be reviewed. We're seeing that now. So um, that's the statistics, and the numbers are pretty difficult to argue with. So about 20% a year are going to be reviewed. So in your award letter that you have, you'll see what the timetable is. Some people, if you're younger individuals in your 30s or 40s, it might be every 18 months or every year. Older, it might be every 3 to 5 years. It's in that range. And they don't give you a specific date, and they don't happen on time. So it's one of those things where you don't know, but make sure that you have your mail open and you can get your mail, from what I mentioned earlier in the program. So what can you do to protect yourself? Few short, quick tips is make sure that you follow the award letter that you have. Make sure that if you're going to do some work, and you are going to earn within the allowed amount, which in 2022 is $970 a month, make sure that you stay, below that, and tell Social Security that you're going to work. If you're going to go above that, and there's a question in here about the Ticket to Work program, um, then make sure that you properly understand the Ticket to Work program, how many trial work months you have, how many months you can exceed that amount, because it's the earnings threshold. If you look at the number of people that have gone through reviews, oftentimes it can be triggered by those that are earning too much money. It just gives them another reason to go in and review you. So that's one. Income, great to work. I strongly suggest it, but just make sure you do it right. Uh, Contact Social Security, um, if you're going to work and earn even $400 or $500 a month. Okay. Um, Second piece, doctor's support, or doctor's treatment. Your premise of your disability case and getting approved was that you have conditions. They're being treated by a doctor, and you have limitations from your doctor that prevent you from being able to work. So when you're approved, it's the same thing. If you have the conditions and you feel like stop going to the doctors, um, and you still have the limitations, then Social Security can say, "Listen, man, if you're being treated, there's new treatment out here now. There's different things you could do. There's new medications. You could probably work." So you need to stay in treatment. Do everything that you can do. You have access to Medicare when you are approved for disability. There's fantastic plans that allow you to go to the doctors for like low to no out of pocket costs. Just make sure that you get on the right one for you, and do that. Um, we've had some questions about our benefit protection plan, and it applies to some people, but it doesn't apply to everybody. But what the benefit protection plan is, if you go through a benefit review with us and we look at your current plan, and then we help you enroll in another plan that's better suited for you, we consider you a client, an insurance client, a Medicare client. And this process costs you zero. We're paid by insurance companies to make sure that you stay on their plan. And of course, in order for you to be on that plan, you need to be on your disability benefits. So for us, what we do is we work with a variety of different insurance companies, and they all pay the same. And if you're in any one of the plans that we can find that's a good solution for you, and we're getting paid, then we offer you our benefit protection program. And what that does is it protects your benefits in the event that you have a continuing disability review. And how it protects your benefits is you have access to our legal team, the same team that we work with, that helps people get approved. It's the same, information that we have in our disability approval course that people can use to help them get approved on their own. So for zero cost, you have access to our legal team. When you get your notification of your continuing disability review, you can fill it out, we'll review it. If that gets denied, the next step is our legal team gets intensely involved in requesting medical records, writing a review, working with you to get doctor support, all for no charge. And it can make it, that's what we do to help the disability review go away. Um, So if your case goes to court, we cover the legal fees up to the first $500 for our attorneys to go to court with you, and that usually is plenty of money for us to do it because all the hearings are remote now. So it's an added benefit for the individuals that are clients of ours. Now, here's the issue: not everybody is able to be a client of ours. Of course, we'd love that because we get paid by the insurance companies and it costs you nothing. It's a win-win. But there's some states that we are not able to offer this in, and there's some people that are have doctors networks and plans that they're just really like difficult to move. But if you're interested in that, if you're interested in exploring your options, you can, if you're a member, you can reach out to us. If you're not a member, you can join us and you can contact us, reply to any of the emails, say, I'd like a benefit review. I'm interested in the benefit protection program. So those are a few things on that. So I want to tighten up some of the questions that have been rolling in here. Um, okay, just we have more on the benefit protection program. It works. It's pretty simple. I mean, there's no cost to it for people that are enrolled. Once we enroll somebody into a Medicare plan, then they are going to be eligible for this, and they can just we give them a number. They can contact our legal team when they get a review. The people that are not qualified for it is there's 14 or 15 states that we are not able to do that are currently not doing insurance work in, and it wouldn't be in those states we're not able to offer it to individuals. So as long as you're Medicare eligible or soon to be, then that would help. But thanks for the questions on that. All right, let me take a look here. Ticket to Work program is flawed. I agree. The ticket to work program that doesn't work. I did report though recently. I think it's one less about 2% of disability recipients have used the ticket to work program, which is more than I thought. But what's interesting is the percentage of people that try the ticket to work program and the percentage that complete it. Those numbers are actually quite impressive. Um, I think the real challenge, in my opinion, KK, just thanks for the question, is that it's a program designed for people to go from not being able to work to working full time, to going into a full time job. And I know from my experience, there's many that work here at the Disability Digest that are disability recipients. That one, it's just not possible, and two, if it is possible, just the general migration into a job from going from 0 to an 8-hour day is hard. So if they had that program that had a general progression of, okay, you could start part-time, you could go right and ease your way up, I think that's one component of it. If they approached it in that way, would be better. And so somebody could, another thing, that's my rant here on this, but is if somebody could go and they could work as part of the ticket to work program with some of the support resources, and they could work part-time under the 970 a month and have zero impact, and they could do that for forever if they wanted, and then they could generally bump up. I think that would be another a nice feature. um, okay, here's a question from Bobby. Or I think you mean when does SSA request medical examiner before they make a decision? Okay, good question. When you're going through the disability approval process, you apply, let's say it's today, and I'm going to go through the steps, and in 4 to 6 weeks, you're going to get the forms to fill out, like the work history forms and what you can do on a daily basis. Once that step is done, the next step is an examiner. Not everybody goes to an examiner. The figures that I recall are around 70%. Most do, but there's a 30% or so that don't. But it's going to be somewhere in that period after you um, complete the forms. So the whole process for the initial application is expected to take 5 to 6 months, but we just had somebody this past week that was approved. Um, and they started their application December 3rd of last year, and they just got their first decision notice. So there's still some COVID hangover going on out there. I've submitted my application back in July of 2021. All right, well, you're around the 6 month mark. You should be getting a decision, Bobby. Yeah. Can we talk about doctors' copays, how expensive it is? How is the zero copay? Who is eligible? Okay, this is from Lulu. Um, Lulu, if you're not approved for disability, then you're either using private insurance, maybe you have insurance from the exchange, or you have no insurance, or maybe Medicaid. So there's a lot of variables there. I'm going to, which is difficult for me to address. I'm going to go on the Medicare side for somebody who is approved. Um, if you go into Medicare.gov and put in your zip code and search for plans and then select Medicare Advantage, you'll come up with however many plans in your area. If you're in Miami, it's like 60, New York City, it's 80, is a lot of plans. But what you can see there is that most of the Medicare Advantage plans have a zero copay if you go to a primary care. Um, and they might have a zero copay for a specialist or a low copay for a specialist. And how it works is, and I'll get on to who's eligible, is when you become Medicare eligible, you have Medicare A and B. That's your basic Medicare structure. And Part A is for you to go to the hospital. Um, and Part B is for the doctors. And they both function as a co-insurance in that you're responsible for 20% of the cost and Medicare is responsible for 80% of the cost. So Lulu, stay with me. I'm going to answer your question, but I want you to understand this piece. So if it's $1,000 bill for going to the hospital, you're on the hook for 20%. If you got a $300 copay to go see a specialist and you're on Medicare A and B, then you've got 20% of that, which is $60 in my math. So how the Medicare Advantage plans work is when you go into a Medicare Advantage plan, it's a Part C plan. You basically take your Medicare card and you put it in the drawer, and you're not going to be using that right now. You're going to use your Medicare Advantage uh, card from whatever company that fits for you: United Healthcare, Aetna, WellCare, Humana, Blue Cross, Blue Shield, whatever it is. So you now are having your healthcare managed by this private company. I'll use United Healthcare. They're the most common one out there. And so Medicare now pays United Healthcare. So Lulu, in your example, they would be paying, say, $14,000 a year for Lulu to be in this Medicare Advantage plan with United Healthcare. So United Healthcare is like, all right, I got all this money here. I got to make this attractive so I can get a lot of people in here and I can make more money. So they have the programs where there is zero copay to see a primary or low copay to see a specialist. And that's the financial structure and how it works. So it's really a great. It's one of the most promising spots or products or benefits available to people because most people on disability have doctors they've got to go see. So you can go see them for low to no cost. All right. Let me see if there's any others in here. Okay, Bobby, are you seeing backlogs in the initial application? Yes, still. I mean, I gave you the current example. Um, I don't see. I don't see mm, very few cases getting approved or decided in the 6 month range. I don't know if there's anybody out there that has had that. I don't have any exact statistics, but if I generally say to people now, target 10 months for your initial application decision, and if you get it sooner, then great. But that's the expectations. So those are a few things. Okay, so once they ask for bank info, does that mean you're approved? Not necessarily. And the reason is when you apply for disability at the very beginning, they require you to have a bank account. Uh, if if it's not a bank account, then a debit card. So there's some way that they can electronically pay you, and it could be that that was omitted from your initial application. Um, so that's one possibility. The other possibility is you are through the process and they're calling to verify your bank account. And if that's what they're doing, if they have digits on file and they're calling to verify it, I would go with good news on that, because I don't know why they would be calling you to verify a bank account if they don't plan on paying you. So um, hopefully that's helpful. Good. All right, so I'm going to wrap up with the time that we have. I've been here 20 minutes or so, and I want to thank everybody for your time and attention. And just as a reminder, we do these periodically. Oh, and there was a technical issue with this. I want to just give a shout out. I set it for 12:10, but when you go to the YouTube live, it said that it was 8:05 tonight. I will not be here at 8:05 tonight. So I wasn't able to fix it. So thank you for working through that. And I do these periodically, and they'll be posted, and you can see, and you can set a reminder when you do see it, if you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, which I hope you are, um, so that if you forget about it, that it'll pop up as a reminder. So, and this is your opportunity to come out and get questions answered in big general format. If you're looking for more specific information, and you're a member with us at the Disability Digest, then just reach out to us. You receive emails periodically, just reply back and help you out with whatever we can. If you're looking to get your benefits approved, maybe you're already approved, want to know how to keep them or maximize them, or the benefit protection that we had discussed, then we encourage you to join us. There's no charge for the membership here. Um, we're funded by ads and sponsors and services, so we can help you get a customized approach based on your age and where you live and what's your income and your condition. These are all determining factors to help you get your benefits and to keep your benefits, and to maximize them. So we invite you to join us if you haven't already. All right. Happy Friday, everybody. Thanks. Excuse me. Thanks again. Make it a great day. Until the next time, be well.